Over the last 3 years, we've made over $1 million with cooking videos. That's not clickbait. We've built an insane network of 28 cooking YouTube channels. Some of them are ours, some we created for our clients, and today I'm spilling the beans about it. I will tell you everything you need to know, from choosing the right niche to filming, optimizing the videos, uploading them. You are getting the full roadmap. Let's get to it. So how do you even pick a niche for cooking content? What should you actually film? Here's the biggest point. Before you even think about what dish to cook, understand that we're not showing faces on camera here, okay? This is a common misconception. People think, oh, well, I just set up a camera, start talking. No, that's not the way. Why? Well, because the language you choose for narration will only limit you. We are going global. We will translate our videos into all the languages out there. And to do this, you won't even need to learn another language. We will be making faceless content with no narration, just your hands cooking with some background music. And all the translation work will be done by YouTube itself. Its metadata and translation tools will handle that. So if someone in, I don't know, Zimbabwe pulls up your video, it will show in their language. Same goes for viewers from Spain, China, Australia. You get the idea. Cooking channels that earn a lot are a different type of channels altogether. They're not about a personal brand like we're all used to. The cooking channels that we've built aren't tied down by political or financial issues. Regardless of what's happening in one country, it still has access to hundreds more. With this kind of setup, you're safe from all that. Imagine sitting somewhere in France, maybe in Paris, or whatever you want, making videos that get views in the US. It's almost like magic. And it does all that without overburdening you too much. So how does this all work? I'm gonna walk you through it. The main thing you need to do so that your videos created anywhere in the world get traction worldwide is keeping them faceless and voiceless. Just make sure to have high quality visuals and some subtitles. That's the secret sauce behind all the biggest cooking channels. Alright, so what are you really gonna cook? Honestly, it doesn't even matter. And whether you are a pro chef or just scraping by, doesn't matter either. Here's the reality. Cooking niches on YouTube aren't about mad skills, but about spotting trends. Let's get into how to actually find those. Let's say you catch a video about casseroles raking in views in one channel. Cool, take note of that. Then you see another casserole video popping up on another channel. Interesting. If it happens again on yet another channel, that's gonna be our signal. People are into casseroles right now. The supply isn't there yet, but interest is building up. And bingo, that's how we ended up with Good Appetite, a whole channel dedicated to casseroles and other baked dishes, right when people were craving it. It's not just casseroles either. This approach works with literally any food niche. Like you could have a channel all about omelets, soups, or even just desserts. We actually have Healthy and Fast, a channel that's exclusively desserts, and it's doing well. The key here is picking either a type of dish or a main ingredient that will be your thing. We even had a channel where every recipe had broccoli, and it was surprisingly popular. And there are tons of ways to spin it. You could go with foods of the same color, like a channel only about green foods, herbs, veggies, vegan recipes, a whole green vibe. Another angle that's worked before is recipes with a specific health angle. Things like eat this dessert to fix your kidneys or have this breakfast to improve blood circulation. These kinds of videos were a hit with an older crowd, usually people over 65 who are at home watching videos, recreating recipes out of boredom and curiosity. So if it was something that claimed any health benefit, it was getting views. But these days, YouTube's cracking down on any health claims without proof, so unless you've got legit evidence a dish can improve someone's health, don't go there. YouTube isn't really pushing those videos anymore, so yeah. In the end, it's not about being the next Gordon Ramsay. It's all about spotting the trends people are looking for and building a channel that scratches that itch. So when you're picking a niche, remember, focus on dishes that already perform well across different niches. Then build your channel around that. Pay attention to what ingredients keep showing up or how people are framing the dishes. Maybe it's healthy eating, 5-minute desserts, or some kind of comfort food. It doesn't have to be one thing, just something people are already into. To really stand out, you will need to research what's trending in similar videos, identify the common elements, and ultimately find one unique twist that will become your channel's core focus. Alright, so let's say you've nailed down your niche. What's next? How do you choose the specific dishes? First, don't think you are tied down to just one type of dish. Take casseroles as an example. Sure, you could Google 5 500 casserole recipes and make them all, but honestly, that will bore your viewers. Instead, head to YouTube and look up trending videos like casserole I make every day or easiest casserole ever, and sort by popularity from the last month or a year. Look for elements that are making these videos go viral, and then take those elements and add them to your own content. One time we noticed a video with an egg being poured into a bell pepper or a tomato, can't remember exactly. We liked the idea, so we took it, but put our own twist on it by putting hot chocolate into an orange. Or we saw a trend in dessert videos where they would show cake layers, so we started layering casseroles the same way. That little trick alone pulled in over $10,000. Wild, right? So keep an eye out for interesting details in other cooking videos, even if they are from different niches, and mix them into your content. That's your formula for creating content that sticks. Right, here's the plan. Find 50 channels that are doing content similar to what you want to create. Look at what's working for them, the catchy thumbnails, the video ideas, anything that's trending. Gather up all those things, mix them with your own twist, and just like that, you're set up with a recipe for a viral video. Now, as for recipes, don't stress. You don't need super original ideas, and it's not about fancy cooking techniques. It's all about simplicity. If people feel they can easily follow along, they are way more likely to stick around. From what I've seen, even if you have a popular chef in your videos, the most views tend to come from basic, repeatable recipes, the ones anyone can make on a busy weeknight. People love recipes they can pull off without fancy tools or rare ingredients. You need to be the relatable cook, the one who makes it easy for anyone to whip up the dish. Your audience is the everyday person. They are working. They are busy. They just want good food without the hassle. So keep the instructions straightforward. Use ingredients you can find at any local grocery store, and don't overcomplicate it. The simpler, the better. That's the sweet spot. Another huge misconception people have about cooking videos is that they think they need all this pro-level gear, multiple cameras, pricey lights, the whole setup. But honestly, all you need is your phone, iPhone, Android, whatever. As long as the quality is decent, you're good to go. Take Healthy and Fast channel as an example. Almost all top performing videos were shot on a phone with a simple table lamp diffused by a white grocery bag. One of those videos pulled in over $30,000. No fancy equipment, no elaborate lighting, just a phone and a lamp. So if you're sitting there thinking you need a pro camera to start, let that go. You're not here to make movies. Your focus is on showing what ingredients to buy, how to prep and cook them, and keeping things straightforward. No one's expecting a cinematic masterpiece. They just want clear, simple instructions. And trust me, you can hit those $10,000 plus views just fine without the fancy visuals. Another key to remember for cooking videos is consistency in timing. Every step should take just 5 to 6 seconds. 5 to 6 seconds for dicing onion, another 5 to 6 seconds for stirring the sauce, and so on. By the end, you will have around 100 shots, which adds up to roughly 10-minute video, the sweet spot for this kind of content. Now, what if your recipe doesn't quite stretch to 10 minutes? Here's a simple fix. Add in some extra elements. Let's say you are making a salad, and it's fully covered in just 22 shots. Add a quick snack idea, a sandwich, a tea pairing, or make that salad the side to main dish, like steak or potatoes. That way, you're hitting the length without any clickbait fluff. The video feels complete and viewers get more value out of it, making it even more engaging to watch. Another approach we like to use when our video length doesn't hit the 10-minute mark is combining 2 or 3 recipes into one video. Let's say we've made a chocolate cake, but it only clocks in at around 6 minutes. We just add another chocolate cake recipe, same theme, but with a twist, different ingredients, or a new idea altogether. And just like that, we've got our 10-minute video. Everyone's happy. YouTube gets the right length. Viewers get 2 recipes for the price of 1. And we keep engagement high. If you are new to YouTube, nailing that get-go can be tough. It's all about figuring out what clicks for your audience, and this is especially key with cooking content. Ideally, you would have someone who knows the game, someone like us. Over the years, my YouTube agency has helped tons of creators unlock their full potential and maximize their revenue. We've built successful cooking channels, travel channels, ballet channels, investment channels, tech channels, and even AI-focused ones. Every single one of these channels is pulling in views and bringing in solid revenue. So if you want to peek into what's possible for you, check out the link in the description, fill out a quick questionnaire, get in touch, and we'll show you just how high you can go. Now, let's talk about the setup for shooting these videos. From our experience, you don't need more than 2 phones. They should be positioned at a 45-degree angle, overlooking your table and cooking area, capturing 2 different views. A tripod is perfect for that, but if you are working the budget, you can try to somehow secure a selfie stick. If you can, invest in a portable stove so you can keep everything on the table. It's a game changer for getting the right shot without constantly adjusting your setup. And if you have the option, get someone to help you out. Having an extra person to manage the camera angles or lighting can seriously speed things up. Even if they're just helping with the cooking steps, it makes the whole process smoother. Shooting also takes longer, so if you can rope in a friend, sibling, or anyone willing to lend a hand, go for it. Now we're getting to the most crucial part. The thumbnail. Honestly, coming up with a thumbnail deserves its own video, but let me give you a sneak peek into what works. A lot of the time, we actually shoot separate footage specifically for the thumbnail that doesn't even appear in the final video. Sounds weird, right? But it works. Here's an example. We made a video where we dipped an ice block into melted chocolate, which then hardens to create this perfect mold for the cake. Then a while later, we tried a variation where we poured melted chocolate over the ice block instead. Same concept, just a different look. And you know what happened? The dipping video hit over 11 million views, while the pouring one barely made it past 100K. Identical videos in terms of recipe and content, just different thumbnails. This proves a very simple idea. It's not always the recipe or the content that makes a video blow up. It's the thumbnail. YouTube uses something called click-through rate, CTR, and it's a make or break factor. If people click on your video, YouTube will push it more regardless of the video's contents. So before you even start filming, put some serious thought into the thumbnail. How can it make it people want to click? If you nail the thumbnail, the video itself doesn't have to be flawless and your recipe doesn't need to be the best thing people have ever seen. Cooking channels are one of the best niches where you can make good money on YouTube without showing your face, doing voiceovers or fancy editing. All you need is a phone, a stove, and a solid idea. That's it. As they say in Ratatouille,
anyone can cook.
And on YouTube, anyone can be a cook. So grab that phone, come up with an idea, and start shooting. And remember, if you want a pro team by your side, hit the link in the description to partner up with us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.